Hey everyone, it's almost springtime. We've got some plant work to do. But no worries, I'm here today to tell you the top plant tasks your plants need you to do for them right now. The number one plant task you need to take care of right now is to evaluate your light. So as spring comes, the Earth's axis shifts more toward the sun, so we're getting more direct rays. In addition, the days are getting longer, so the plants are getting more light. Generally, that's a good thing. Most plants prefer more light, but it's not always. And so if you've moved plants closer to your windows to capture more of that dim winter light, then you need to evaluate if they're maybe getting too much as we move into spring and summer. I had that happen with my anthurium. This guy was pulled out here where it was getting direct rays from the sun. It doesn't like that, and some of the leaves suffered some burn. So I noticed that right away. I tucked him back into the corner, and he's much happier. So a good reminder to check all of your plants. And if you burn a few leaves, it's okay. You can trim those off, and the plant most likely will survive. Another important task to take on right now is to start fertilizing again. Our plants are waking up. They're pushing out new growth and perhaps even beginning to flower. So it's a really important time to begin to give them more nutrients. This ZZ plant is pushing out 3 new stalks right now, and he's not alone. Most of my plants are in an active growth phase. I just got this plant food from Happy Houseplants, and I really like it because you feed the plant with every watering. It's diluted enough that you don't have to try to remember if you fed them last time or last month or anytime I can take memory out of the equation, it makes my life so much easier. Spring is a great time to repot. Now, if you've followed my videos, you know that I was repotting all winter long. I'm not afraid to do that whenever the plant needs to be repotted, but perhaps there were some that you missed. One that I noticed recently that is in desperate need of repotting is this succulent pot. I put a variety of different smaller succulents in this pot together, and as you can see, they're all going a little bit crazy. It's misshapen and definitely needs to be uppotted. Now I could choose to take the individual plants out and put them in their own pots, but I kind of like the mixture of textures and leaves and sizes. So what I'll probably do with this guy is just get a bigger pot, cut back some of the gnarly growth on some of the bigger ones, and give him a bigger home. Some plants may not be ready for repotting, but they could do with a little reshaping. That is the case for my coleus plant. Now this beautiful guy has just grown so well throughout the whole winter. In fact, I've already propagated him, and that's what this is. But he's getting a little bit misshapen again. So what I'm going to do is trim back this extra long branch here, and then I'm going to put it in water and propagate it again, which leads me to the next great spring task, and that's propagating. So let's do that task right now. I'm going to look in here and find the proper place to trim, which is going to be just below a node. Remember, a node is where the roots are going to grow from. Right there. So I gave him a pretty strong cut there. I'm going to take this branch off right here, but leave the 2 nodes on either side. And then place this in water. In fact, I'm going to take another stem him off there, just so that he can go in the water a little bit easier. And then he's gonna grow roots, and probably what I'll do is plant this one right back in here so I get a little bit of a bushier plant. Now, these guys, I'm totally able to propagate them as well. Coleus really propagates madly, so I'm gonna put them in the water as well. So because during the spring we have such active growth, it's also a really fun time to play with different substrates for your propagation. So I generally propagate in water as a rule because it's so simple and I can see the roots, but there are a lot of other methods. This one here is in leca, so it's the balls, dried expanded clay balls. But also some people have success wrapping the stem cutting in a wet paper towel and putting it in a baggie. So a lot of different methods. You can do a search for different propagation methods and play with it because most of us have plenty of material to work with. Another one that I'm going to reshape is here, my peperomia. And I've taken numerous cuttings from my peperomia and it just continues to grow and to be a fuller plant, and I love that. So again, I'm going to trim just below a node. I'll take off the bottom leaf and then just pop him into water. And again, generally only takes a couple of weeks for these guys to start rooting out, and then I can choose whether I want to put them in leca or right in soil. These make great gifts because they become really beautiful plants really quickly. The next task on the list, well, it's just not my favorite. It's cleaning up. And the first part of cleaning up is dusting the leaves. Plant leaves tend to collect dust, especially these big ones like on my rubber tree. But the plant needs the leaf surface to be clear from dust so that it can absorb light and photosynthesize. So we really have to go through and get every single leaf. And if you're like me and you avoid this task, it's something you will notice a lot of dust coming off. But the plant just looks happier and it looks prettier, and so it is worth doing, at least every couple of weeks. On the same topic of cleaning up, we need to go in and remove any dead or yellowed leaves or little branches. My parlor palm tends to just have some dead leaves down at the bottom, and it's super easy to go in and just pull them right out. They're dead, so they're not very firmly attached, and so you just give it a little snap, pull them out. Similarly, the peace lily tends to get a lot of sort of dead leaves and stems and things down here in the middle. It's quite normal, they just die off, but you want to pull those out because they also can be an attractant for bugs. They can rot in the soil, and we just don't want to have, first of all, it doesn't look very nice, and second of all, we don't want anything to attract insects, bugs, or problems like that. The last task that I want to suggest for spring is that you reevaluate your watering. If you cut back on watering at all during the winter, you want to be checking a little bit more often. So using a moisture meter or putting your finger into the pot, checking the condition of the soil a little more often, just to see if the plants are taking up water more quickly than they did during the winter. So that is that, your plant tasks that you need to take on right now for spring. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative and a bit of a call to action. Your plants will be so happy. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel so that I can continue to provide more plant content. And until next time, my plant friends, keep growing.